Well, hello and welcome. I'm Kieran Siemens. This is the Inky World, and today's word given to me is the worm. So, the worm is that should be a good one for you, everybody, because everybody can draw the worm, right? So, get your pen, get your brush, get whatever you've got, and do some drawing with me today. We're going to draw the worm. Hello and welcome back. Today's word is the worm. And the worm kind of is like a big... Well, I think you can kind of get away with doing something in a big S shape. You know, so I'm gonna be very brave here, and I'm gonna try and... will that paintbrush go inside that? Will it? No, it won't. Okay, I thought that paintbrush was going to fit inside. Have I got another paintbrush? There's a nice little paintbrush. That'll do. Right, so we're kind of going to get some S shapes going here. We're going to get some nice blue going down here to kind of... just to give us a nice kind of different feel from it. Just throw it down there. Don't worry too much, because we're not going to be worried too much. And all we need to do is think about a worm. So just try and kind of get something nice and splishy splashy. Something nice and juicy. And that'll give us a good feeling already for today's word, which is the worm, and I love that already. Beautiful. Right, so let's put a lid on that, and that will give us a good start to our worm. And then after that we go straight in with the ink. Black Indian ink. So, the worm. Now, the lovely thing about a worm is that, you know, I'm not really sure how much anybody even knows about a worm. For me, I don't know too much. I don't really even know. Does it have a nose? Well, my worm has a nose. I'm going to give it a nice big kind of piggy nose. I have no idea if it has a nose. I'm sure it must have a nose. For those people that know. Does it have teeth? Well, yeah, why not? I'm going to give my worm some teeth. Just to kind of give it a nice kind of monster type feeling. Because, unless you really get down and dirty, what would a worm look like? Worms are kind of like... In fact, you know what? I don't even know if they have eyes, so I'm gonna give my worm some nice kind of monster-like googly eyes. I'm gonna give it some... Ooh, he looks a bit sneaky, doesn't he? But the thing is, the lovely thing is that you can draw a worm today as well. All you need is a big S, and add anything you like to it, anything your imagination will let you do. And that is my... I'm going to give him a big lip. And that's what in my world, in my mind, that's probably what a worm would look like. Would he have hair? I don't know. Why not? That gives him a nice kind of crazy kind of look to him, doesn't he? And the first thing I remember from a worm is it's got lots of little wrinkles all over its body. So that's my pig-nosed worm. And of course they don't have arms, which is kind of like making it quite difficult. So, everybody can draw a worm today. There should be no excuses. It's very late here tonight doing the drawing because I just put all together my book of my sketchbook. It's kind of like a collection of pieces from the last few days, the last month. So all the drawings that you've been seeing on my posts will appear in the book. A lot of people have been asking how best to support me, and I think the best way is for you to get something out of it too. So I thought, a book. If I was to do a nice book, then you could help me by buying the book. It's a book on Amazon. It'll be all the sketches that some of you have helped kind of name, you know. Some of you have been very, very, very helpful, and so in the next day, I hope tomorrow, my book will be there, and it will be full of lovely sketches. What is going on? And I would love to know what you think of it. Now I've got this idea that if I remember, and I might be wrong here, but from my kind of childhood, I was always kind of under the belief that a worm had two heads. Is that true? Does anybody know? Does anybody know if a worm has two heads? Well, today he does. Today he's going to have two heads. One is kind of spooky and scary, and one is going to be a little bit more kind of silly and daft. So we were talking about my book. It's going to be these type of sketches that you see in a daily, and I'm hoping it will be a nice way to kind of get a nice way for people to get a bit closer to what the drawings are and see what goes on. It'll be a small book, but it'll be a hardback book, so it should be about the same size as the Worry Lips book. If any of you bought the Worry Lips book, that's about a 6'9", so it's quite a good size. Do I have one of them around? It's about 6'9". There you go. It's about that big. So that's quite a good thing. That's the Worry Lips book. You can still buy those like that, and except this one won't have any. That's on Amazon at the moment. Can't remember how much, but you can. That will support me as well. Anybody who buys the books will be great support. Very much appreciated if you do so. And the next one I've done is a collection of the sketches from these daily drawings. I've got hundreds of them sitting around, so you do something with all these drawings. The idea was eventually to paint them all up, but time has got the better of me. Life has just been so busy. So this is the other face on my worm, and he's kind of like a little bit it's going to be a very, very nice book. I've got a very good feeling putting it together, because there's only a couple of words at the beginning to explain it, and then after that it's just drawings. So it'll be a much more of an art-based book. There's going to be about 80 illustrations in there. So you've got about 2 months worth of illustrations on there. And if it becomes popular, and if it sells well, then I'll do it as a constant thing for the YouTube page, where people can actually watch the monthly illustrations, and then we can kind of put it together in some kind of book form, which I think will be a beautiful way to work. So there's the other face, a kind of a toothy, grinning side to the worm. And I love the way this blue has come in to kind of add to. I really wanted some color on it. I was looking around to see what colors I had. And the big bottle of cyan. I have no idea why or how I got so excited by the the color of cyan, but I bought a huge big, like 2-liter jug of it at one point. So that is my worm for today. Obviously there's not going to be too much going on, because a worm is just a long stringy sausage type of thing. And today's word is for trying to catch up with some of the YouTube, some of the Facebook groups that I've joined on, and this one is for the Draw Every Day group. Can be quite difficult kind of catching up with some of these, but I'm trying to combine it now a little bit with some of the requests from people, which I'm getting quite a bit of. Getting quite a few requests from people, which is beautiful. Thank you very much. I love everyone, and everyone is locked away in my brain. And I will get around to all of them, I hope, at some point. That's quite funky, isn't it? I can do with a little bit more of that blue in the middle there. Lovely. And that is the worm. So by tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, the new book will be there. So you'll have the Worry Lips book, and you'll have the sketches from YouTube. It'll be called the Inky World Sketchbook. And I think it's going to be a brilliant addition to what I've already got going. And there's so many people that have asked about some of the posts and about some of the black and white drawings. And I think it's just a brilliant idea. I think it will come up to be a beautiful addition to the YouTube page. I think it'll be great, and hopefully it'll be popular, and it will help support everything that happens. Because it's like doing these. There's so much ink every day. It's a lot to put together. So it'd be very, very nice to be able to get some things there for you to purchase that would support me, And I think the book is just such a great idea. Can't remember who came up with the idea, but it is a fantastic book with all the collection of the drawings, and I think that's such a good idea. And a great way for people to kind of be part of it as well, And that is a very, 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 very quick drawing today. Oh, wow, look at that. And it's a two-headed worm. Please tell me a worm has two heads. Or is that just like my crazy childhood? I always thought that's why I thought if a worm kind of gets bitten in half or run over or squashed, then its other head will still go and live on. Isn't that true? Or am I on a different planet? What? It sounds very space age, doesn't it? Very kind of like sci-fi type of thing, but I'm sure it's true. Right. So let's frame up this beautiful drawing here. Well, that would have been a good one for the book, wouldn't it? Just going to darken up some of these edges. Just to kind of give it a nice touch of weight almost. I think that's sometimes what the thickness on the brush does. Lovely. Lovely. So I will keep you posted on what is happening with the book. It's going through a review at the moment, and hopefully by tomorrow we will have some exciting news. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So there is today's word, which was the worm. And I've loved this idea that the worm has got two heads from my childhood. It's what I believe and it's what I think a worm is like. So I've done two different characters. I'm sure it would be like Siamese twins or whatever their politically correct word is now. That you got two twins that are stuck together like a earthworm, and it's got two heads, and one is maybe very happy and then one's very angry, or one's cheeky and one's very clever, or whatever. And that's what I've tried to do here with this earthworm. I try to give it two very distinct characters on the each end of the worm. So that is today's earthworm, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope it's got some character. I'm pleased with it, and that's a great day. So, thank you very much for being here. thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Because all those numbers going up makes me feel better. The more and more you come to join. So today's word is the worm. Have a fantastic day. I hope you drew a worm too. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.